Hey everybody, welcome back to Gearhead Daily, and today I want to talk about something that you probably saw on my other channel, which is I am moving to work on some kind of guitar stuff, just learning how to play guitar, right? Still doing car stuff, still doing woodworking, just, kind of working a little guitar practice as well. And I had come across some amps, and I wanted to show you the one that I think is personally the best for a brand new player who just wants a practice amp but still wants a lot of really decent features at a relatively good price, and it's going to be plenty loud. So I did before this have a Fender LT50 Mustang. I was not impressed. It had a bunch of digital modeler stuff on there. Just to even find a clean tone, you had to move like 14 or 15 dials just to get a straight clean tone sometimes. And I didn't really feel like it sounded whole. It sounded very hollow and tinny. Even the wife, when she came down and she heard me practicing, she said something doesn't quite sound right. And I started filling it with the dials, and I couldn't get it right. It just never sounded right to me. And a couple people had responded, "Oh, it was great for me. It's great. I think it's fantastic." That's totally fine. I didn't like the way it sounded. It sounded hollow. It just didn't have that fullness that I really wanted. So I went back to Guitar Center, and they took the return because they've got a very generous return policy, and they let me play out a bunch of practice amps, smaller ones, entry level amps. Now I'm not talking, these bigger ones like the Katanas and a few others that people had suggested to me. But I'll be honest with you, the one that really rang true to me and the one that sounded the best, and let me introduce you to it, is for the price. Now keep in mind there's going to be some price differences, but I want to show you what I got, which I think sounds pretty darn good, which is this guy right here, which is the Orange Crush 35RT. So I did have a couple requirements for my practice amp, and one of them, it had to have an effects loop to bypass the amp. So let me walk you through some of the features of it, and then I'll let you hear it sound through this microphone. I know it's not perfect, but we'll do the best we can. And you can kind of hear clean tone versus more of a distorted tone. But I really think that this has the best bang for your buck because it does have an effect loop. The ones that the next kind of level up were in the $400 to $500 range. This one I got on sale for just under $250. I've been playing it through mostly my Fender Tone Master Pro, on just basically on the preamp setting. But if you don't have a modeler or any pedals or anything, honestly, this is kind of better, more economical options, and it is plenty loud. Okay, I've had other amps before, and I've had half stacks back in the day, and I will tell you, this is plenty loud for me, especially in my office, just jamming by myself. So let me kind of show you the outside of it, and then I'll let you hear it a little bit, okay? Here we go. All right, so right off the bat, we've got a 12-inch speaker sitting at the front, and on the Fender, what was funny is on the back, it was open. So you just saw the speaker, but this one is enclosed, which I honestly think makes a big difference in the sound. So starting on the back, we've got our effects loop, send, return. We also have a channel for a foot switch. Now, a lot of them do, but a few of them didn't. Now, the one thing that the Fender had that this one does not have, which is an output for, say, if you want to plug it into your computer, if you wanted to, USB or anything like that. So, unfortunately, that does not happen, but honestly, I would rather have this that sends it straight from, from the instrument to here just as a preamp, and then I can use the Tone Master to send to my computer for sound. So don't have to worry about microphones or setup of microphones or anything. So on-off switch. This also takes a standard plug-in like a computer cord. Pretty much any computer cord would work just fine. So that's the back, solidly built. Everything looks really tight. As far as construction goes, being a cabinet maker myself, I completely understand the good, quality work that they did with the kind of rubberized coating on the plywood that they had here. Looks pretty good. So construction, excellent. Now, next piece is the top. And on the top, you've got, your usual suspects, which in this case is going to be, you've got headphones, you've got an auxiliary, you've got a clean and a dirty channel, so you can pick between which ones. Now, the volume knobs do make a difference. And so when it comes to each channel, each one uses these three, the treble, middle, and bass, and then the gain will coincide with the dirty one, but the clean only coincides with these three. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, reverb does impact both channels if you want to use it. So it's got a really nice reverb, sounds really, really nice. Clean channel sounds really good in my opinion, and comes with a tuner as well. So the tuner, I have noticed, is about a quarter or even a half step off from my other tuners. So I guess if you just kind of stick with one, if you're just jamming by yourself, or tune to the song you're playing in whatever key it is. So just kind of keep in mind this might be right, but as far as compared to my other tuners, seems to be about a quarter step off or so. All right, so let me show you how the tuner works. It's very simple. All you got to do is click the on-off button, very simple, and then pluck your string. Okay, and it'll tell you if you're sharp or you're flat, either side. Okay, so we're a little flat, probably need to bring it up a little. All right, so we're pretty close. But that is how that tuner works. It overrides every setting you have, so just keep that in mind. If you're not getting any sound, maybe it's because that button's pushed in. Again, standard stuff up the top, but again, what this thing does as far as overall quality of sound, I think is much better than all the little tiny tricks that the Fender tried to do and honestly didn't get super great. So in my opinion, I would have just this one on a clean channel and then have it with my Tone Master Pro to do the sounds. But if you just have one amp, this is it. It does clean really well, it does dirty really well, and honestly, the reverb, I think, is fantastic. So gain and distortion, reverb, and clean. What more do you need? Let's see how she sounds. Nice and clean, very, very clean. Reverb, throw a little reverb in there. Reverb is all the way up now. Plenty loud, and that's that's on the second knob here. I mean, the second little thing. Plenty loud for me, what I'm doing. Let's change it to the dirty channel. Turn the gain up about halfway. There you have it. If you only need one amp and you just want some gain and a little bit of reverb, this is the one. Again, I got it on sale for just under $250, brand new, right out of the box. I know there's some used ones still out there, so you could probably get a better deal than that. But on the clean channel with a little bit of reverb, honestly sounds really, really crisp and sharp and bright. That's kind of the thing I was going for. Really bright sound, whereas the Fender didn't really sound very bright. And if you want a little bit of distortion, a little bit of gain, this thing sounds like a great 60s vibe. You got the gain about halfway up, give or take. And I think you got a really great kind of 60s lead, ZZ Top, sort of Kansas sound to it. I think it sounds really great. They're not paying me to say this, so none of this is paid. They didn't send me squat because, who am I to them? They don't care. But the reverb honestly sounds pretty good. I think they could probably dial that up a smidge, and it does have an effects loop, whereas all the other ones in this price range did not. Now, if you go up a step, yes, you're going to get more features. But if you're just going to be practicing in your basement like me, or in your home office like also I'm doing, honestly, you can't really go wrong with the orange. The sound is great, kind of got that cool 60s lead vibe to it, and if you want a clean channel, it's great. You got a foot switch in there too, which is even better. I don't use a foot switch. Again, I'm using everything through my Tone Master Pro to send sounds. I'm just using this as basically just a way to make the noise louder. If you're just running it through a modeler, like I'm doing here, also good. Very, very loud. That is not the issue. You know, volume is not the issue. Tone and quality of the sound and the makeup of the box. You heard me say the construction of the box is quite good. As a cabinet maker myself, I'm quite impressed with how they made the corners work. This kind of vinyl coating that they've gone on it feels tough. The you know, it's plywood obviously under here, but the construction itself feels very solid. This is a solidly built unit, so happy with it, and the price point I think is great. Again, they're not paying they're not paying me to say this. They did not send me anything. They don't even know who I am for that matter, and that's totally fine. So I will obviously recommend this to anybody who wants to have just a practice amp that is loud and gives you a really cool vibe at the end of the day. So that's all I've got. Questions, comments, put them in the chat. Love to hear from you. What do you think? Do you have one of these? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Personally, I think Orange makes some really quality stuff that, you know, does clean and kind of that, you know, cool 60s vibe. And the color's pretty cool too. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Talk to you guys later. See ya.